Well, hello, and welcome to the Underwood Baptist Church devotional series for Thursday, December 22nd, 2022. Interesting, 2222. So, Brother Adam spoke about, not waiting in his devotion yesterday. If you were paying attention, spoke about waiting to the last day to do some Christmas shopping. Don't want to take away from that in any way, shape, or form. It's an excellent devotion. You should check it out. And if you have seen it, go back and refresh yourself. Look at it again. There's a tremendous message in that short amount of time that he spent with us yesterday. But with that being said, it is the season of gift giving. It is the season of hope, season of lights, so to speak. The light of the world came to be with us. Emmanuel, that is, God with us. And last week we spoke about, or we're talking in Isaiah, the 9th chapter, verse 6, one of my very favorite parts of the Bible, probably my favorite, if you want to call it Christmas verses, because it was a foretelling of what actually happened. If you have the time and really want to do some fun but unique research, look at all the prophecies that have been fulfilled for the foretelling of Christ. Look at all the prophecies that God's prophets foretold that have come true. And he doesn't miss one. Pretty amazing, right? Wonderful, right? Well, last week we were in Isaiah chapter 6, and I'd like to pick something back up. For unto us a child is born. It speaks of his humanity. Why did he come? Because he had to live a perfect life. There wasn't the ability to have a substitution if Jesus was, for a better word, was born and went straight to a cross. No, he lived the life that we couldn't, so he could be the substitute that we needed. For unto us a child is born, to us a son is given. Speaking of his deity, he's always been. But as Abraham lifted up the knife in his obedience and following the Lord to give his only son as a sacrifice, the angel stayed his hand, right? He had his hand up and the angel stayed his hand. The Lord himself shall provide. You ever think about the magnitude that the God of heaven, the incarnate Word, went to the cross for you? Well, you would have to if you're genuinely saved and understand the ramifications of sin and what sin is. It's quite simply rebellion against the Creator, against God, against all the things that he has put forth for our betterment, for our enjoyment, for a better life. I was at dinner last night with some friends, and I had the opportunity to say, can you imagine a time when there's no more death? Perfect peace. Well, that's because the presence of sin is gone. Think about that. Wrap your head around that. No sin. Nothing to distract you. Nothing on a billboard or in a magazine or on TV or anything like that. Nothing to take away from your focus and your appreciation and genuine true love for the Creator as we're meant to love. And Jesus, a son was given and demonstrated that love to us by pouring out all of himself for us. And the government shall be upon his shoulder. Speaking of his authority and his sovereignty, why do kings wear robes? One study suggests that because the government and the responsibility of ruling was upon them. A sign of that was to put a robe on the one who was in charge, the king. And so the government shall be upon his shoulder. It is a task and it's a responsibility. How many times do we see that responsibility either not fulfilled or done in a selfish way that benefits a person or a select group of people instead of a nation? I think we live in that time now, if we're being quite honest with ourselves. But it won't be when he comes. It'll be a time of perfect peace. It will be a time of pureness and justice and correct dwelling, to be able to relate to somebody in the volume of love that we are supposed to truly anticipate. I think that, and experience, I think that we get glimpses of that. But to be able to really, really love and give with a happy and full heart. His name shall be called Wonderful, Counselor, the Mighty God, the Everlasting Father, the Prince of Peace. Speaking of the time to come, but he's still our wonderful counselor. And he is still our wonderful and mighty God. He is our wonderful and everlasting Father. And he is our wonderful Prince of Peace. So, as a person of value, as accepted Jesus Christ as your personal Savior, have you told someone, anyone, even somebody who may be saved, have you reaffirmed why there is a Christmas season? You know, the way that Christmas is spelt, at least in English vernacular, it's Christ Mass, more Christ. It's a season of Christ. It's a season of the Son that was given. He came in low estate, wrapped in rags, and he left a criminal's death because of me and all humanity. The perfect gift that was ever given. If you don't know this Jesus that I'm speaking about, you don't understand why there's this Christ in Christmas, come to know him. Understand that there isn't a Christmas without Jesus. The world may try to throw in all kinds of different things to better yourself and just to be good or make it a good time or whatever the case is, but that will fail horribly. Only things that are done for Christ will ever last. So as a person of value, who have you told the Christmas story to? Who will you tell the Christmas story to? Who are you telling about this wonderful counselor? The everlasting Father and Prince of Peace. The mighty God. The one that spoke. You know, my words fail to do very, very much good, if I'm just being quite honest with myself. But his words are life. And we can speak those words because they're recorded for us, that we may be able to present them in this season of hope, this season of light, this Christmas season. So think about that today. As a person of value, know that you are loved and cherished. The church loves you, I love you, and I pray that you have the most wonderful and most excellent Christmas that you've ever had. Remember, the King is coming back again. And this time he won't come back. When he does come back, that is, he won't come back as the little babe to live a sacrificial life. He'll come back as the King of Kings and Lord of Lords. And you can be with him. And If you don't know Jesus as your personal Savior, accept his free gift of salvation, the best gift that you can ever receive before it's everlasting too late. Until we meet again, may the Lord of heaven richly bless you this day. God bless you. Merry Christmas.